The crystalline structures of Velith Prime trembled as another plasma bombardment scorched the planet's surface. Ambassador Kethera pressed her elongated fingers against the communication console, her bioluminescent patches flickering with distress patterns that had been encoded into her species' DNA for millennia. Galactic Emergency Protocol 77 Alpha. She transmitted into the void, her voice carrying the harmonic frequencies that marked her as a member of the Velithian Council. This is Ambassador Kethera of Velith Prime. Our world is under siege by the Nexary Collective. We require immediate humanitarian assistance. The transmission carried across the quantum relay network, bouncing through dozens of star systems. Most civilized species would receive it within standard cycles, but by then, the elegant spire cities of Velith Prime would be nothing but molten slag. What Kethera didn't anticipate was the response that came barely 3 hours later. Velith Prime, this is Admiral Sarah Morrison of the Terran Defense Fleet. We've received your distress call. ETA to your position, 18 hours. Hold your ground. Kethera's secondary heart skipped a beat. Terrans? The Deathworlders from the Sol system? She had heard whispers about them in the Galactic Assembly, stories that most civilized beings dismissed as primitive propaganda. Beings who had evolved on a world so hostile that they considered atmospheric storms, tectonic activity, and radiation exposure as mere inconveniences. Terran vessel, Kethera replied, her voice quivering with both hope and terror. We appreciate your response, but our situation requires a full military fleet. How many ships are you bringing? We're bringing enough, came the terse reply. 18 hours later, the quantum sensors around Velith Prime lit up like a supernova. The Nexary fleet, a formidable armada of 200 vessels that had been systematically glassing the planet's surface, suddenly found themselves facing something unprecedented. The human fleet materialized from hyperspace in perfect formation, not the scattered emergence typical of most species, but a coordinated translation that spoke of tactical precision evolved through countless conflicts. 250 vessels, each one bearing the scars of previous battles, arranged themselves in attack formations that the Nexary had never encountered. Commander Zaxth of the Nexary Collective opened a communication channel, his mandibles clicking with amusement. Primitive mammals, he broadcast. You have made an error. This world belongs to the Collective now. Withdraw or be destroyed. The response came from Admiral Morrison herself, her voice carrying an edge that made Kethera's photosynthetic patches dim with primal recognition of an apex predator. Commander Zaxth, you have 30 seconds to cease all hostile actions and withdraw from this system. This is your only warning. Zaxth's laughter was a harsh chittering sound. You dare threaten the Collective with your inferior technology? We have conquered 17 star systems. Your species hasn't even left their local cluster. 20 seconds. Morrison replied. The Nexary commander's response was to order an immediate attack on the human fleet. Plasma lances and quantum torpedoes erupted from the collective vessels, creating a light show that briefly outshone Velith's sun. What happened next would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for generations. The human ships didn't just dodge the incoming fire, they danced through it with a grace that defied their bulky, pragmatic design. Point defense systems that the Nexary had never seen before created walls of intercepting fire that turned incoming projectiles into harmless light shows. When the humans fired back, their weapons demonstrated a tactical philosophy that chilled the Nexary to their exoskeletons. Humans, it appeared, didn't just shoot to disable or conquer. They shot to kill. Railgun slugs moving at significant fractions of light speed punched through Nexary shields like they were tissue paper. Fusion torpedoes detonated in precisely calculated patterns that maximized structural damage. Most terrifying of all were the kinetic kill vehicles. Simple chunks of ultradense metal that the humans had accelerated to velocities that turned them into planet crackers. The battle lasted exactly 47 minutes. When the plasma clouds cleared, the Nexary fleet was debris. Not damaged, not disabled, completely destroyed. The humans had methodically dismantled 200 warships with a clinical efficiency that spoke of a species that had weaponized extinction itself. Admiral Morrison's voice crackled across the communication array. Velith Prime, this is Admiral Morrison. The threat has been neutralized. Our medical teams are standing by to assist with planetary recovery. Kethera stared at the tactical display, her bioluminescent patches now pulsing with patterns that had no translation in any galactic language. The humans had just accomplished in under an hour what would have taken the combined fleets of a dozen civilized worlds weeks to achieve. "Admiral," she finally managed. Why did you? "You sent a distress call," Morrison replied simply. "Someone was hurting civilians. We don't allow that in our neighborhood anymore." As the human fleet began deploying recovery vessels and medical frigates, Kethera realized that the galaxy had just witnessed the emergence of a new paradigm. The age of the Deathworlders had begun, and the universe would never be the same.